Hello students, good morning. Once again, welcome back to Expertise Biology with Yasmin, and this is your Yasmin ma'am. So, once again, let's start with the standard 8 chapter, Conservation of Plants and Animals. Till now, we have studied about the different biodiversity and which are the means by which there is danger to biodiversity, that is the threats to biodiversity. Now, let us proceed further. That is wildlife in danger. Which are the wildlife in danger? As we know, wildlife consists of both the plants and the animals, and in the past classes we have studied that wildlife is very important and it has to be conserved. So which are the wildlife in danger that we are going to study now? In recent years, the population of many wildlife species has been decreasing mainly due to the changes in the environment brought about by humans. See, in the last class we have studied that there are many activities that we are doing which has brought about many changes in the weather, and these changes in the weather has led to the death of many of the species. So many of the species we can't see now. They have passed away from the environment, or they don't exist now. So many of our activities has led to this. So in recent years, the population of many wildlife species has been decreasing mainly due to changes in the environment that is brought about by humans, by us. We have cleared forest. So first way by which we have troubled the environment is we have cleared forest, that is deforestation. We have cut many of the trees and plants which are the houses and sources of food for many of the wild animals. We have converted grasslands into farmlands. As the population has increased so much, so the grasslands are cut so that the grasslands can be used as farmlands for providing food for the increasing population. Flooded large areas by constructing dams. We have constructed dams, and also we have studied in the last class that how these cutting of trees have led to natural calamities such as floods and droughts. Drained swamps and polluted the air and water, and many of our activities has polluted the air and the water. Our activities such as industrial waste, excessive use of electrical appliances, by these things we have started polluting the air, water and soil. This has destroyed the habitats of wildlife. All these ways, as we have done in the last class also, all these ways has destroyed the habitats of wildlife and has disturbed the delicate balance of nature. See, the balance of nature has to be maintained, the eco-balance, the ecosystem, there are different ecosystems working in this nature, so they have to be maintained, and especially we have to take part in this because we are the only culprits. We have done so many activities by which the eco-balance is disturbed, which is very important. Now, this was all about wildlife in danger. So now let us study in detail which are the wildlife in danger and what are the words used for them. Okay, now endangered animals. Endangered animals. As the word says, endangered means they are in danger. They still exist, but they are in danger. Animals that cannot adjust to the environmental changes. See, as our activities has led to many environmental changes, many of the organisms are not able to adjust. See, I will give you a small example. If this is a classroom, one of our child has taken new admission in our school. So, if he is coming here and he makes friends with everyone, so he would be able to adjust, he would be able to survive in the school vicinity, in the school campus, and he will enjoy, he will be happy. But if he has some adjustment issues, he can't mix with people, it would be very difficult for him to live here, to survive here, or to adjust to this environment, okay, and he'll be really sad. So the animals that cannot adjust to the environmental changes begin to die. They begin to die become endangered as their population becomes very small. So by this, how you can define the endangered species? The species whose population has become very small are known as the endangered species. Understanding, children? And you can give few examples as Asiatic lion and leopard. Their number has decreased a lot from last few years. Asiatic lion and leopard, and many more examples are there. So now this was all about the endangered species, that is the endangered animals, the animals that cannot adjust to the environmental changes begin to die, and some species become endangered as their population becomes very small. Example is Asiatic lion and leopard. This was about endangered animals. Now next is extinct animals. What do you mean by extinct animals? Means animals which don't survive only. Dinosaur, only stories we have heard. We have watched the movies also. Jurassic Park and all. When we were small, then Jurassic Park movie had come. So in those we can only see the dinosaur. In the museums we can see the skeleton of dinosaur, but we can't see the dinosaur, okay, because these species have extinct, okay. Now if the species are not protected, if these species are not protected, they may become extinct, that is they disappear from the earth. And there can be many reasons for extinction of a species. So if they are not protected, they may disappear from the earth, and examples I can put is dodo and dinosaur, and many more examples are there, okay. Dodo and dinosaur. Smaller animals are also facing the danger of becoming extinct. Smaller animals means what? See, the ruthless killing of snake. What the snake eats? The snake mainly eats rats. And if I am killing, ruthless killing of any snakes, what it leads to? It will lead to increase in the population of rat. Ecosystem we know na, the food chain. Yes, so if I am killing the snake, the rat number would increase, and what this would do, as we know, rat is a nuisance animal, so it will damage the crops. So in total the ecosystem is disturbed. So this ruthless killing of any of the organisms should be controlled. So to save these animals, we have to conserve, and there are different means by which we can conserve the wildlife or the forest, plants and animals. So we have studied, children, which are the species in danger, that is the endangered species and the extinct species. So now let us proceed further by conservation of forest and wildlife. Which are the different ways by which we can conserve? This is the only chapter, how we have to conserve and why we have to conserve the wildlife. So the different ways by which we can conserve our wildlife. 5 ways are given in the textbook. That is, first is planned harvesting. First see the different methods, and then each and every method I will explain you in detail. Now, first method to conserve the forest and wildlife is planned harvesting. Second is afforestation or reforestation. Third is protection from the forest fires. Fourth is protection from insects and pests. And fifth is protection from grazing. As the name says, it is very much understood by us that what are these different ways to conserve the wildlife. So let us see these points in detail now. The first point is planned harvesting. Yes, children, what do you mean by planned harvesting? Everyone knows what is harvesting. Harvesting means cutting. Yes, when the crops grow, harvesting is done, the crops are cut. And what do you mean by planned? Means few planning is done before cutting the trees. Okay. Now, planned harvesting. Cutting only some of the trees in an area, okay, is known as planned harvesting. Only few of the trees are cut of a particular area. The uncut trees prevent erosion and produce seeds so that new trees can grow. Yes, as we have studied yesterday, how the trees helps us to control the soil erosion, which leads further to desertification. So how? If we do planning of cutting of trees, this will also help. If few trees are there, they will help to control soil erosion, and they will also act as a source for the other upcoming plants, because as we know from the plants, from their fruits, that seeds are produced, and that seeds can be used for growing the new plants. So all the plants would not be finished, few plants would be left for increasing their number later. So this was all about planned harvesting. Everyone understood, students, what is planned harvesting? Means to cut few of the trees and leave a few trees which can be used as a source to increase the number further. Now, second point is afforestation or reforestation. Now, we have studied about deforestation. Yes, deforestation is one of the threat of biodiversity. Afforestation is just opposite of deforestation. Afforestation means planting more and more trees means afforestation. And students, each and every one of us should at least plant one tree. Okay? Now, if you think or you imagine, if each India is having such a high population, if each one of us at least plant one sapling or one tree, you can understand that there would be a high rate of afforestation. Okay? Now, afforestation means renewing a forest by planting seedlings or small trees of the same species as found in the forest. Means what, in simple words? Planting more and more trees. At least if we are cutting 4 trees, at least we should plant 2 trees. And as we know, trees are the only source of seeds which helps in increasing the number further. Now, third method of conservation of forest or wildlife is protection from forest fires. As you know, what are forest fires? Forest, sometimes it catches fires due to corrosion of the branches of the trees, or due to lightning, or the careless activity of the human beings. So by this there can be lots of forest fires. And how to control this forest fire? From up by the aircraft, the fire extinguishers are sprayed, the few chemicals are sprayed, it controls the forest fire. Or, see, as we know, if here is a fire, if wind is blowing in the direction of the fire, it helps in increasing the fire. But if we change the direction of the wind, it will help in controlling the fire. So for that, artificial strong blowers are used, so that we change the direction of the wind, which helps in turn in controlling the forest fire. Protection from forest fires by spraying fire extinguishing solutions from aircrafts, or by changing the direction of the wind by using strong blowers. These were the 3 points. Now let us see what the other 2 points says. From this part, what type of question, from the last part, what type of question would be asked? That what are the endangered species, what are the extinct species, explain them and give examples. And from this part, question that could be asked is how to conserve the forest and wildlife, name them or describe them. If you want, take screenshot. So let us proceed further. In the conservation of forests and wildlife, we have taken 3 points. Now let's proceed to the 4th point, students. The 4th point is protection from insects and pests. See, we all know that insects and pests are not good for plants and the crops. Yes. So by using insecticides and fungicides, we should control the attack of the plants by the insects and the pests. And the farmers, they use this, okay, to control the attack of, so that their crops, they're not diseased, they are disease free, they get good quality of crops. So protection from insects and pests by using insecticides and fungicides and removing infected trees. See, if any one infected tree is there or any weed is there, it has to be removed from the good yielding crops or trees so that it doesn't spread the infection to the other plants there. Now, next point is protection from overgrazing. What do you mean by overgrazing? Everyone knows that the cattle, they have the grasses. Overgrazing means more and more grazing is done by the cattle. So this has to be protected. Protection from the overgrazing. To protect the growing plants by providing pastures which can be used by rotation. So what do you mean by pasture? Pastures are the grasses that the cattle they eat or they graze. Okay, this is known as the pasture. So there should be rotation of a place. Pastures should be provided and rotation should be done so that not only only one part is grazed. Overgrazing at one part should not be done. Rotation should be done so that it helps in protecting the plants of a particular area. So protection from overgrazing. To protect growing plants by providing pastures which can be used by rotation. And these were the methods of conservation of forest, which were the 5 methods. Now let us proceed further. Wildlife conservation is closely related to forest conservation. Explain this point if comes in the exam. It's very important how wildlife conservation is closely related to forest conservation. We have studied so many points that if we don't conserve the wildlife, many of the species of animals, they become extinct or endangered. Okay, and as we know, the forest is made up of what? The forest is made up of wildlife only, the plants and the animals. So it is told that wildlife conservation is closely related to forest conservation, as the forest is a source of food and shelter to many of the wildlife. So many of the wild animals. So if we protect the forest, means we are protecting the wildlife. We are protecting the wild animals and plants. So these two are closely related. That can be asked as a give reason question. Now, the following steps need to be taken to conserve the wildlife. So what are the steps to be taken to conserve the wildlife? First is habitat preservation. Habitat, we know now. What is habitat? It's a place where an organism or a species stays, survives, breed is known as the habitat. Okay. Now, habitat preservation. Second is hunting regulations. As we know, hunting is done for trading. Yes, in the last class we had seen that how the different parts of the plants are used for trading, for business, as it's a very upcoming business, so it has to be controlled. It's illegal, so it has to be controlled. So hunting regulations, some regulations, laws and regulations should be passed by the government and it should be followed strictly. It should be made mandatory. And creating protected areas. A protected area should be made for the wildlife so that where they can stay, they can eat, they can be free, they can breed. So the biosphere reserves, wildlife sanctuaries and the national parks, these are the places which are made so that the wildlife, the wild animals, they feel protected. The national parks, we know the different zoos are there. The animals are protected from hunting, yes, which is done for trading. So these are the areas where the animals feel safe. They stay there and they breed so that there increase in number. So in this way we are conserving the wildlife. Okay. Now the question that would be asked from this part is, which were the different ways of conservation of forest and wildlife? Explain that wildlife conservation is closely related to forest conservation. And the third question would be, which are the steps needed to conserve the wildlife? Each and every point is clear, children. Now if you want, you can take screenshot.